Hello, Professor Toybox here along with Agent P, and today I'm going to implement the second of Agent P's 5 missions in my Danville toy box. This mission is an homage to the first season episode, Lawn Gnome Beach Party of Terror, in which Dr. Doofenshmirtz plots to steal all of the lawn gnomes in the tri-state area and destroy them as revenge for being forced to dress like one in his youth. Agent P needs to defeat all of the lawn gnome stealing robots and collect all of the lawn gnomes in order to save the day. So to save a little bit of time, I've already placed down the creativitoys that I'm going to need, and there aren't many. Like most of the activities in this toy box, this is a very simple mission to build. So I have a button that we're going to use temporarily to start the mission, and then we have a logic gate, 2 enemy wave generators, a collectible tracker, a replayer, and a time delayer. And over here underneath this tree I have a target camera, which we'll use to show the player what it is they need to do. And for the 2 enemy wave generators, I've connected this one up to 5 locators over on this end of the toy box. It's the same 5 locators that we used for Meep's mission, and this one is connected to the 5 locators at the other end of the street, the same 5 locators again that we used for Meep's mission. So I'm reusing all 10 of those locators. No reason to put down a whole new set of locators when we can reuse stuff. And so let's go ahead and configure the enemies first. So under the first enemy wave generator, we'll come down and configure the wave. And by the way, again, I connected the locators up with a new locator connection, as you've seen me do in other videos. But we'll go ahead and configure the wave. And I clicked on the plus sign there. And I'm going to scroll down to the Lilo and Stitch robots, the ones from Stitch's Tropical Rescue. And I'm going to use the same robots that I used last time, which are these guys. So they're not particularly difficult to battle, but they work. And by using the same one consistently, we know that's Dr. Doofenshmirtz's minions. And I'm going to set the count to 5, because we have 5 locators. And under the properties, we'll take the generation delay to 0. We're going to do the same thing with the other enemy wave generator. I've already connected up all 5 locators to save a little time. We're going to come in here and select the same robot. And we're going to set the count to 5. And once again, under the properties, take the generation delay to 0. So the enemy wave generators are ready to go. Let's skip the collectible tracker for the moment, and we'll come to the replayer. And under the properties, I'm going to take the playback interval to 0. And then I'm going to come out of Spark mode and out of the editor. And I'm going to step on my replayer. So I open the menu in the lower right, press B to start recording on my Wii U, step off so I can get back into the menu. And I've already got, under the gameplay toys, the Gnome collectible. And so we're going to place a few of these around the toy box. And we don't want to place them too far apart, because we want the player to be able to get to them. So I'll place the first one over here in this yard. Place another one over here. And another one over in this corner. And I'm going to kind of keep them confined to this area of the toy box, the residential area. So now that makes number 4. We'll put one across the street. Let's put it down here. And one more, excuse me, in the backyard over here. So 6 of them total. And I think that should be sufficient. And I'll exit out of the editor. We'll step on the replayer again, press B to stop recording, and A to clear. And again, you only want to press A one time so you don't corrupt the replayer. Now we'll come into the collectible tracker and go to the properties. And for the collectible type, since we're using so many different collectibles in this toy box, we need to make sure we tell it which one we're tracking, or which one we want it to track, and that would be the Gnome collectible. And we'll go ahead and show them on the radar. Okay, and for the time delayer, the default property of 1 second is fine for that. And the last toy we need to set up properties for is the target camera. So we'll come over here and we're going to do a new locator connection. I'm going to connect it up to this locator out here. That'll be our camera target. And then under the properties, once again I'm going to turn on use defined duration, and we'll set our duration to 5 seconds. These are fine. Turn glow through off. The camera target needs to be the connected locator. And the rest of these are all fine. Okay, so for the mission, ideally we want to have the console down in the layer select this randomly, but we haven't done that yet. We're going to do that in the last episode. So for right now, I'll use the button to trigger the mission. And so on the button, we'll do a new logic connection when pressed. And rather than connect this up to all the toys, I'm just going to connect it up to this logic gate. We'll do an input. And I'll hook the logic gate up to all the toys. And again, so that's so that later on, when we do the random generation, we can just make one logic connection to this logic gate, and everything works downstream the way it needs to. So on the logic gate, we'll do a new logic connection on output. First thing we will do is come over to the enemy wave generators and generate the wave. So that's the first one. And on output on the gate, come over to the other one and generate that wave. And on output from the gate, we will also come over to the collectible tracker and reset it. So if we want to play this mission multiple times, we can. On the logic gate, new logic connection on output. We'll come over to the replayer and do a playback. And that will put all of the gnomes into the toy box. And then Agent P can go off and do the mission. The mission will end when he collects the last lawn gnome. And so the collectible tracker governs that. So on the collectible tracker, we'll do a new logic connection. When the final collectible is collected, we're going to come over first of all to our sound generator. And under the musical category, we'll play the fanfare flourish. And again, I like to use that when the player completes missions and things because it lets them know audibly that they've done it. On the collectible tracker, new logic connection when the final collectible is collected. We'll come over to our action enforcer and we'll have all the players celebrate. And then the last thing we need to do is we've already removed, in a sense, at this point, the collectibles. I mean, the player will have picked up the lawn gnomes, but the collectibles will still be there, so we need to clear that replayer. But I don't want to come over and do that directly, because I think I need to give the replayer a little bit of time, because this is going to trigger when the player picks up the final one. And so I don't want to take it away when this thing is responding to having done something with that. So I'm going to put a little delay in here, and that's why I have the time delayer. So on the collectible tracker, a new logic connection. When the final collectible is collected, we'll come over to the time delayer and start the delay. And on the time delayer, a new logic connection. When the delay is completed, come over to the replayer and clear it. And that is all of the logic. It's pretty simple. Just putting the enemies and the collectibles out there, and when they're done, we end the mission. So I'm not going after Dr. Doofenshmirtz in this one, although you could do that if you want, like we did last time. but I chose not to do that. The villain doesn't always have to be caught. Sometimes the villain gets away. But let's go ahead and try it out and see what happens. So we'll push the button. Whoops, wait, one more thing I forgot we have to do. We have to activate that target camera. So on the logic gate, a new logic connection on output, we want to come over and activate our target camera because we got to show the player what it is that they need to do. Eventually, when we hook up the random generation down in Agent P's lair, he's not going to be up here to see all of this. So, all right, now we're ready. So we'll push the button. We see the lawn gnomes show up and some robots. And now we're going to go ahead and run the mission. I love the way he throws his hat. Oh, there's another one over here. Nice. Okay. So now we can go pick up all the lawn gnomes. Probably should have took care of this one in the corner while I was over here. I want to make sure I get my sparks. Not that I have a whole lot left to buy in my toy store, but I think I've pretty much unlocked a lot of stuff already. There's not much left to unlock in the toy store. Oh, level up. Nice. Cool. Got 3 with 1 shot. I like that. All right, 1 more lawn gnome to go. And with that, we've saved the day. All right. Well, that's Agent P's second mission, and with that, I'm done for today. I hope you enjoyed my video, and I invite you to come back on Wednesday when Agent P takes to the skies to stop Dr. Doofenshmirtz's Deflate-inator, which is an homage to another Phineas and Ferb episode. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet and you want to do that, just click my photo in the lower right corner of this video. And if you want to build my lawn gnome mission on your own console or PC, be sure to visit my blog where you can find a logic diagram to help you out. Have a great day!